Are you confused about Pi Network's real price potential? Are you tired of hearing wild predictions from $3 to $300? Do you want to know why Pi Network's price keeps dropping despite having millions of users? And most importantly, are the big whales and influencers telling you the complete truth about what's really happening behind the scenes? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you are in exactly the right place. I'm Nathan as usual, and today I'm going to reveal the shocking truth that nobody wants to talk about. I'll show you why the whales are tricking you, what's really causing Pi Network's price to struggle, and what you need to know before any major announcements. But here's the thing. What I'm about to share with you might upset some people in the Pi Network community. Some influencers won't like this video because I'm exposing the real facts that they don't want you to know. So if you're ready for the brutal truth, stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different understanding of Pi Network's future. I've been following Pi Network since the early days. I've seen the promises, the hype, the disappointments, and the reality. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain to show you what's really happening. And trust me, some of these facts will shock you. Before we dive deep, let me ask you something. How many Pi Network videos have you watched that promised you millions of dollars? How many times have you heard Pi to the moon without any real explanation of how we get there? Today, that changes. Today, you get the real story. Let me start with the hard facts that most people don't want to discuss. Right now, Pi Network is trading at around 60 cents. That's a far cry from the $1.50 peak we saw just a few months ago. But here's what's really shocking. The market cap has dropped from $15 billion to just $4 billion. That's a massive 70% drop in value. Think about that for a moment. 15 billion to 4 billion. That's $11 billion in value that just disappeared. Where did it go? Did it vanish into thin air? No, it went into the pockets of people who knew something that regular investors didn't know. But here's what's really interesting, and this is where it gets tricky. The supply only increased from 6.8 billion to 7.4 billion tokens. So the supply increase isn't the main problem like many people claim. The real issue is something much deeper, and the whales know this. I went to CoinMarketCap, the world's biggest crypto tracking website, and they have a new feature that tells us exactly why prices go down. And guess what it says about Pi Network? It says the price dropped because of weak technical momentum and community frustration over delayed progress. Did you hear that? Community frustration over delayed progress. This isn't my opinion. This is data from the most trusted source in crypto. The whales and big influencers know this, but they keep telling you to just hold and wait. They're not telling you the complete picture. Here's something that will blow your mind. I analyzed the top Pi Network influencers' content from the past 6 months. Do you know what I found? Over 80% of their predictions were wrong. Completely wrong. Yet people keep following them, hoping for that one magical prediction that will make them rich. But here's the real kicker. These same influencers are making thousands of dollars from YouTube ads while their followers lose money following their advice. They win whether Pi goes up or down. You only win if Pi actually succeeds. Now, let me tell you how the whales are tricking you, and this is where it gets really interesting. They keep comparing Pi Network to Bitcoin. They say things like, Bitcoin also had slow development, or just look at Bitcoin's journey. This is the biggest lie in the crypto space right now, and I'm going to prove it to you. Pi Network and Bitcoin are completely different animals. Bitcoin is digital gold. It's a store of value. People buy Bitcoin and hold it like they hold gold or real estate. Bitcoin doesn't need daily updates because its job is to be a secure, decentralized store of value. Bitcoin's value comes from scarcity and trust, not from daily utility. But Pi Network? Pi Network is supposed to be a currency for daily transactions. It's community-based, it needs constant development, regular updates, and growing utility. When the community loses faith, the whole project suffers. This is basic economics that any serious crypto investor understands. The whales know this difference, but they don't want you to understand it. Why? Because if you understood the real difference, you might start asking the hard questions. You might start demanding better performance from the Pi network team. You might stop watching their videos and start thinking for yourself. Here's what the whales don't want you to know. They make money from your engagement, not from Pi network's success. Every time you watch their videos saying Pi to the moon, they make money from YouTube ads. Every time you join their Telegram groups, they can promote other projects to you. Every time you click their affiliate links, they get paid. Your hope makes them money, regardless of whether Pi network succeeds or fails. I've seen influencers with millions of followers promoting 5 different next Bitcoin projects in the same month. Think about that. If they really believed Pi network was going to make them rich, why would they promote anything else? The answer is simple. They don't actually believe their own hype. They're just selling you dreams while they collect real money. But here's the most shocking part. I found evidence that some of the biggest Pi network influencers don't even hold significant amounts of Pi themselves. They're telling you to hold while they're diversifying into other projects. That should tell you everything you need to know about their real confidence in Pi network. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this. Last month, I spoke with someone who invested $5,000 in Pi network after watching a popular influencer's video. That video promised Pi would hit $50 by the end of the year. Fast forward to today, and that investment is worth less than $2,000. Meanwhile, that same influencer made more money from that single video than most people make in a month. This is the harsh reality of the crypto influencer game. They profit from your dreams while you take all the financial risk. Let me share some facts that will shock you about the Pi network team's track record. In the beginning, the Pi network team promised to launch 100 apps before the open mainnet. 100 apps. Do you know how many they actually launched before the mainnet went live? Not even one. 0. Nada. Only recently, they added 5 apps to the ecosystem. And honestly, most of these apps are pretty basic and don't add much real value. This is why the community is frustrated. This is why the price keeps dropping. This is why smart investors are losing confidence. Think about it this way. You have 60 to 100 million users. That's a bigger user base than many successful companies had when they went public. Imagine if Facebook had 100 million users but only 5 basic features. Would Facebook be worth billions? Of course not. User base without utility is just a big number with no real value. The Pi network team is sitting on a gold mine, but they're acting like they're still in the early development phase. Meanwhile, other crypto projects with smaller communities are building amazing ecosystems and gaining real value. The community has been waiting for years. People mined Pi for 6 years, and some still can't even migrate their coins to the mainnet. 6 years. That's longer than it took to build most successful crypto projects from 0 to billions in market cap. Here's something that really bothers me. The Pi network team raised millions of dollars from their community through various means. They have the resources to hire developers, build partnerships, and create real utility. Yet progress moves at a snail's pace. Where is all that money going? What are they doing with the resources they have? I've analyzed their development timeline, and it's embarrassing compared to other successful crypto projects. Ethereum went from concept to a thriving ecosystem with thousands of applications in less time than Pi network has taken to launch 5 basic apps. Solana built a high-speed blockchain and attracted billions in investments faster than Pi network has managed to create a simple payment system. But here's what really frustrates me about the Pi network team. They're excellent at marketing and building hype, but terrible at execution. They know how to get people excited with promises and announcements, but they consistently fail to deliver on those promises on time. Let me give you a specific example. They announced the open network phase with great fanfare. The community was excited. The price started rising. Then what happened? Months of silence. No major updates. No significant progress. The excitement died and the price crashed. This pattern has repeated multiple times. The team seems to believe that their community will wait forever. They treat their 100 million users like they're doing them a favor by existing. But here's the reality check. In the crypto world, communities move fast. If you don't deliver value, people find projects that do. The Pi Network team is testing their community's patience, and patience is running out. Now, let's talk about those crazy price predictions you keep hearing. And I'm going to break down the math in a way that everyone can understand. $300 per Pi? $3,000? Some people even claim it could hit $300,000. These numbers sound exciting, but let me show you why they're mathematically impossible. For Pi Network to reach $300 per coin, it would need a market cap of over $2 trillion. That's more than most countries' entire economies. Bitcoin, the king of crypto, has a market cap of around $1 trillion at its peak, and it took over a decade to get there. Bitcoin is digital gold, accepted by institutions, and has proven itself through every possible test. Pi Network has 7.4 billion tokens in circulation, and this number will likely grow as more people migrate. Bitcoin only has 21 million total supply, and no more will ever be created. Do you see the difference? Even if Pi Network somehow got Bitcoin's entire market cap, the price would only be around $135 per coin. And that's assuming Pi Network becomes as valuable as Bitcoin, which stores most of the world's crypto wealth. But here's the real question. Why would Pi Network be worth the same as Bitcoin when Bitcoin is digital gold and Pi Network hasn't even built a proper ecosystem yet? It doesn't make mathematical sense unless Pi Network creates more utility than Bitcoin, which seems unlikely given their current progress. Let me put this in perspective with real numbers. For Pi Network to reach just $10 per coin, it would need a market cap of $74 billion. That would make it bigger than most major corporations. Is the current Pi Network ecosystem worth $74 billion? You tell me. The more realistic target, if the team actually delivers on their promises, is somewhere between $1 to $5 in the next few years. And honestly, even reaching $3.14 would be amazing if they could build real utility and keep their community engaged. But even that requires massive improvements in development speed and ecosystem building. Here's what most people don't understand about crypto valuations. Price isn't just about supply and demand. It's about utility, adoption, and real-world value creation. Bitcoin is expensive because it solves real problems for real people. It's a hedge against inflation, a store of value, and a way to transfer money globally without banks. What problems does Pi Network solve right now? What can you do with Pi that you can't do with other cryptocurrencies? These are the questions that determine real value, not just community size or mining numbers. I've calculated different scenarios for Pi Network's future price based on various levels of development success. In the best case scenario, where they deliver everything they promise and build a thriving ecosystem, Pi could reach $5 to $10. In the moderate scenario, where they deliver some promises but remain slow, Pi might reach $1 to $3. In the worst case scenario, where development continues at the current pace, Pi might struggle to maintain even its current price. These aren't just random numbers. They're based on market cap analysis, comparison with similar projects, and realistic assessment of Pi Network's potential utility. So, what needs to happen for Pi Network to succeed and reach its true potential? I've identified 5 critical areas that need immediate attention, and I'm going to break them down for you. First, the team needs to wake up and start communicating regularly with their community. Radio silence for months doesn't work when you're running a community-based project. Look at successful crypto projects like Ethereum or Solana. Their teams communicate constantly with their communities. They share updates, address concerns, and maintain excitement. Pi Network's communication strategy is from the Stone Age. The team needs to establish a regular communication schedule, weekly updates on development progress, monthly community calls, quarterly roadmap reviews. This isn't rocket science. This is basic community management that every successful project does. Second, they need to focus on utility. Real utility. Not just basic apps that nobody uses. They need to create reasons for people to actually spend and use Pi in their daily lives. Think about it. What can you buy with Pi right now? Where can you spend it? What services accept it? The answer is almost nowhere, and that's a huge problem. They need to partner with real businesses. They need to create payment systems that work. They need to build tools that people actually want to use. Until Pi has real utility, it's just a digital token with no purpose. Third, they need to fix the migration issues immediately. People who supported this project for years shouldn't struggle to access their own coins. This is embarrassing and unacceptable. Every day that migration remains difficult, they lose community trust. Trust is everything in crypto. Fourth, they need to hire more developers and speed up development. 5 apps in several years is not acceptable for a project with their resources and community size. Other projects with smaller teams and less funding are building faster. There's no excuse for this level of slow progress. Fifth, they need to be transparent about their finances and development spending. The community deserves to know how their money is being used. Where are the development funds going? How many people are working on the project? What are the specific timelines for different features? Here's what I'm planning to do, and I want you to be part of it. I'm organizing a community movement where we'll send professional, constructive messages to the Pi network team. Not angry complaints, but specific suggestions for improvement. We'll ask for regular updates, development timelines, and transparency about their progress. If you want to be part of this movement, write Pi Network to the Moon along with your country name and flag in the comments below. This will show the team that people from all over the world are watching and expecting better performance. We're not just passive holders. We're an engaged community that demands excellence. The power is in our hands. We're the community that gives Pi Network its value. Without us, they have nothing. It's time they remember that and start treating us with the respect we deserve. But here's the thing, and this is important. I'm not here to destroy your hopes or tell you to give up on Pi Network. I'm here to give you realistic expectations and help you see the real opportunities. Pi Network still has incredible potential, but that potential will only be realized if certain things happen. The user base is massive. 60 to 100 million people is an incredible foundation for any project. Most successful companies would kill for that kind of user base. The concept is solid. A mobile-first cryptocurrency that anyone can mine is brilliant. The technology works, the blockchain functions, transactions process, and the basic infrastructure exists. The problem isn't with the concept. The problem is with execution and communication. And these are problems that can be fixed if the community demands better and the team responds appropriately. Think about it this way. We've seen the price hit $1.50 before. We know the demand exists. We know people want to believe in this project. The market has already shown us that Pi can have significant value when people are excited about its potential. The question is whether the team will step up and deliver what they promised. If they do, reaching $3 to $5 is absolutely possible. The user base supports it, the community wants it, the technology allows it, but it requires action, not just promises. It requires development, not just marketing. It requires utility, not just hype. And here's something most people don't realize. We're still early in the crypto adoption curve. Most people in the world don't own any cryptocurrency yet. Pi Network has the chance to be their first crypto experience. That's a huge advantage if they use it correctly. Imagine if Pi Network became the cryptocurrency that 1 billion people use for their first crypto transaction. Imagine if they built an ecosystem so simple and useful that regular people choose Pi over traditional payment methods. That's the real opportunity here, and it's worth billions of dollars if executed correctly. But here's the catch. This opportunity won't wait forever. Other projects are working on similar goals. Other cryptocurrencies are targeting mainstream adoption. Pi Network has a head start with their user base, but head starts mean nothing if you don't run the race. The next 12 months are critical for Pi Network. They need to show real progress, launch meaningful utilities, and prove that they can execute on their promises. If they do, the price could easily reach new highs. If they don't, the community will start looking elsewhere, and the opportunity will be lost. I believe Pi Network can succeed, but only if they make the changes we've discussed. The potential is there. The community is there. The question is whether the leadership will rise to the occasion. So, what should you do with this information? How should you approach Pi Network moving forward? Let me give you a practical action plan that balances optimism with realism. First, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Pi Network might succeed, but it's not guaranteed. Diversify your crypto investments. Look at other projects that are showing consistent development progress. Don't risk money you can't afford to lose on any single cryptocurrency. Second, stay engaged with the Pi Network community, but demand better. Don't just accept promises. Ask for specific timelines. Request regular updates. Hold the team accountable for their commitments. A passive community gets poor results. An engaged, demanding community gets better service. Third, keep mining if you want to, but don't expect miracles. Mining Pi costs you nothing but time, so there's no financial risk. But don't build your financial future around Pi Network's success. Treat it as one possibility among many, not as a guaranteed path to wealth. Fourth, educate yourself about cryptocurrency in general. Learn about other projects. Understand how blockchain technology works. The more you know about crypto, the better you'll be at evaluating Pi Network's progress and potential. Fifth, be realistic about price expectations. $3 to $5 is a reasonable goal if development accelerates. $10 is possible in the best-case scenario. $300 is mathematically unlikely unless something extraordinary happens. Sixth, pay attention to development milestones, not just price movements. Real progress in utility and ecosystem development is more important than short-term price pumps. Sustainable value comes from real utility, not from hype. Seventh, connect with other informed Pi Network holders. Join communities that focus on facts and analysis rather than just cheerleading. The more informed our community becomes, the better our collective decisions will be. Remember, successful investing isn't about hoping for miracles. It's about understanding reality and making informed decisions based on facts and analysis. The whales want you to stay confused because confusion makes them money. But knowledge makes you money. So here's what I want you to do right now. First, if this video opened your eyes to the real situation and gave you valuable insights, please hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this content is valuable and helps more people find the truth. Every like helps this message reach someone who needs to hear it. Second, write Pi Network to the moon, along with your country name and flag in the comments. Let's show the world how big and diverse our community really is. I want to see comments from every continent. Let's demonstrate that Pi Network holders are everywhere, and we're all paying attention to the team's performance. But don't just write the comment and leave. Engage with other comments. Share your experiences with Pi Network. Tell us what you think the team should focus on. This comment section should become a hub of intelligent discussion about Pi Network's future. Third, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. I'll keep bringing you honest, fact-based analysis of Pi Network and other crypto projects. No false promises, no misleading hype, just the truth that helps you make better decisions. I promise to always tell you what I really think, even when it's not what you want to hear. Fourth, if you know someone who's confused about Pi Network's price predictions or falling for unrealistic hype, share this video with them. Knowledge is power, and our community becomes stronger when everyone understands the real situation. Help spread accurate information instead of hopeful fantasies. And here's something special. If this video gets 10,000 likes and 5,000 comments, I'll create a detailed video breaking down exactly what Pi Network needs to do to reach $10 per coin. I'll interview developers, analyze the technical requirements, and create a realistic roadmap. but I need to see that you're truly engaged with this content.